الرحمن الرحيم والنازعات غرقا, by those angels who extract with violence.
Any the souls of the evil ones. They're
When
torn out with extreme violence from the person's body.
وَالنَّاشِطَاتِ نَشْطًا, and by those who remove with ease.
Any the angels that take out the good soul gently.
وَالسَّابِحَاتِ سَبَحًا, and by those who glide as if swimming.
Any through the heavens swiftly, speeding to fulfill the commands of Allah.
فَالسَّابِقَاتِ سَبَقًا, and those who race each other in a race.
Any racing to deliver the souls of the people of the believers to paradise.
فَالْمُدَبِّرَاتِ أَمْرًا, and those who arrange each matter.
Any according to Allah's decree.
يَوْمَ تَرْجُفُ الرَّاجِفَةُ, on the day the blast of the horn will convulse creation.
And it will shake violently.
تَتْبَعُهَا الرَّادِفَةُ, there will follow it the subsequent one.
In the second blast.
قُلُوبٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ وَاجِفَةٌ, hearts that day will tremble. أَبْصَارُهَا خَاشِعَةٌ, their eyes humbled. يَقُولُونَ أَإِنَّا لَمَرْدُودُونَ فِي الْحَافِرَةِ, they are presently saying, will we indeed be returned to our former state of life?
And that's what they're saying now. Not what they will say Yawm al-Qiyamah. Now they are saying, are we really going to be returned to our former state, alive after we are dead?
أَإِذَا كُنَّا عِظَامًا نَخِرَةً, even if we should be decayed bones. قَالُوا تِلْكَ إِذًا كَرَّةٌ خَاسِرَةٌ, they say that then would be a losing return.
In meaning we would definitely be punished if that was the case. But we don't believe that's the case. They're saying, we don't believe this is true. But for sure, if we got resurrected, they're ridiculing, they're making fun. Saying if we got resurrected, we would be in trouble right there. They're just mocking what the Prophet ﷺ came to tell them.
فَإِنَّمَا هِيَ زَجْرَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ, indeed it will be but one shout. فَإِذَا هُمْ بِالسَّاهِرَةِ, and suddenly they will be alert upon the earth's surface. هَلْ أَتَاكَ حَدِيثُ مُوسَى, has there reached you the story of Musa? إِذْ نَادَاهُ رَبُّهُ بِالْوَادِ الْمُقَدَّسِ طُوًى, when his Lord called to him in the sacred valley of Tuwa. اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى, go to Fir'aun, indeed he has transgressed. فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى, and say to him, would you be willing to purify yourself?
Now see, even Fir'aun deserves a soft word. لعله يتذكر أو يخشى. And maybe he will remember, maybe he will fear Allah. Fir'aun even deserves the first warning to be soft. For I'm shocked at people who think that they can deal with a Muslim in a way that Musa didn't deal with Fir'aun. And a Muslim's doing something wrong, the first thing you're going to do is go at them with extreme violence and screaming and shouting. Yet Musa went to Fir'aun, and Fir'aun is worse than anyone, and he went to him softly and said, would you not purify yourself? Will you not come back to Allah? Will you not believe? For Allah, don't take away from the people the right to be soft with people. In the first instance.
وَأَهْدِيَكَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَتَخْشَىٰ, and let me guide you to your Lord so you would fear Him. فَأَرَاهُ الْآيَةَ الْكُبْرَىٰ, and he showed him the greatest sign.
And in the great sign, it said the great sign is the snake, the sign of the staff turning into the snake. That is al-ayat al-kubra.
فَكَذَّبَ وَعَصَىٰ, but he denied and disobeyed. ثُمَّ أَدْبَرَ يَسْعَىٰ, then he turned his back striving.
Naam. And he turned his back, striving against the truth, against Allah.
فحشر فنادى, and he gathered his people and called out.
Now,
فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى, and said, I am your most exalted Lord.
and he said to the people, I am your Lord, the Most High.
فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى. So Allah seized him in exemplary punishment for the last and the first transgression.
So first of all, Allah seized him an exemplary punishment, and he made him an example for all those to follow. And he made Fir'aun an example for every tyrant and every oppressive person. Look at what happened to Fir'aun. Secondly, for the last and the first transgression. And first of all, the last transgression, they said the last one mentioned is what? فَقَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. He said, I am your Lord, the Most High. And the first transgression, أَنَا عَبَّدْتَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل, that you enslaved Bani Israel. What you did to Bani Israel, you enslaved them. And then in the end, you said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I am your Lord, the Most High. Allah Azza wa Jal punished him as an example to all the people for the first thing wrong that he did and the last thing wrong that he did.
إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى. Indeed, in that is a lesson for whoever would fear Allah.
It's also said that his first transgression was the first time that he said to his people that he said to them, let me get the ayah. He said, يا أيها الملأ ما علمت لكم من إله غيري. He said, O my people, O my chiefs, I don't know that you have any God except me. So some of them said his first transgression was when he said to the chiefs, you have no God except me. And his last transgression was when he said to the people, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I am your Lord, the Most High. And in this there is a lesson for anyone who will fear Allah.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها. Are you a more difficult creation, or is the heaven He constructed it?
Allah constructed it. So first of all, we understood that from our perspective, the heaven is a more complex creation than we are. Yet for Allah, all of it is easy. Nothing is hard for Allah. But if you look at the heavens is far more complex than human beings.
رفع سمكها فسواها. He raised its ceiling and proportioned it. وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها. And he darkened its night and extracted its brightness.
In brightness in the daytime, the daylight.
وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. And after that he spread the earth.
Spread out the earth.
أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها. He extracted from it its water and its pasture. وَالْجِبَالَ أَرْسَاهَا. And the mountains he set firmly. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. As enjoyment for you and your grazing livestock.
As enjoyment or as a provision? Both. And both of them can be said. As an enjoyment for you, you enjoy those things. Or as a provision, for you and for your livestock.
فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى. But when there comes the greatest overwhelming calamity.
The overwhelming calamity is one of the names of Yawm al-Qiyamah, الطامة الكبرى. I like the translation of the clear Quran, the supreme disaster. It's good.
يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى. The day when man will remember that for which he strove. وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى. And hellfire will be exposed for all those who see. فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى. So as for he who transgressed.
What's the meaning of يعني يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى? Yani all the good and evil that he did, he will remember it in this dunya. As for here, we said, فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى, as for he who transgressed.
وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا, and preferred the life of the world. فَإِنَّ الْجَحِيمَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى, then indeed hellfire will be his refuge. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. But as for he who feared the position of his Lord and prevented the soul from unlawful inclination.
And you think about, what did Allah Azza wa Jal say about this soul? خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ. It was scared of the maqam of Allah. And with regard to the maqam of Allah, the ulama have two views about it, or more. But when I say two views like this, we're not giving a comprehensive tafsir. There might be more, but two views that I want to share with you. The first one is that the maqam is al-qiyam bayna yaday Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, standing in front of Allah. So they're scared of Yawm al-Qiyamah. So how do they stop their soul from its desires? How do they stop their soul doing wrong? Because they're scared of Yawm al-Qiyamah. And the other is that the maqam is Allah's status from His names and attributes, Allah's position. Any meaning they're scared of Allah because of His names and attributes and actions. So how do they prevent their souls from doing wrong? By learning about Allah and His names and attributes and actions and being scared of Allah. So they're scared of Allah and they're scared of standing in front of Allah, and they stop their soul. That shows the soul is going off. The soul requires أن يؤمر وينهى, or تؤمر وتنهى, يعني النفس. It requires to be commanded and stopped. Do this and don't do that. So they stop their soul. They physically hold their soul back from doing what is prohibited. What's their reward?
فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى, then indeed paradise will be his refuge.
Any paradise will be his eventual abode. Where he will go back to will be to paradise.
يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ السَّاعَةِ أَيَّانَ مُرْسَاهَا. They ask you, O Muhammad, about the hour, when is its arrival?
When is its establishment? When will it be established? When will it be?
فِيمَ أَنْتَ مِنْ ذِكْرَاهَا. In what position are you that you should mention it?
You're not in a position to be able to mention it, because you don't have knowledge of when it will be.
إِلَى رَبِّكَ مُنْتَهَاهَا. To your Lord is its finality?
Finality.
To
your Lord is the knowledge of when it will happen, the ultimate knowledge of it.
إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنذِرُ مَنْ يَخْشَاهَا. You are only a warner for those who fear it. كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها.
It will be.
Oh, sorry.
I'll read it for you. It will be on the day they see it as though they had not remained in the world except for an afternoon or a morning thereof. On the day they see the resurrection, they will feel as though they stayed in the world no more than an afternoon or a morning. Wallahi, if this world is only an afternoon or a morning, why do we care about it? Wallahi. Like, you will waste one afternoon of your day, like maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, you will waste one afternoon, one morning. You don't care. Yet we live for this world as though the world lasts forever, and it's only ashiyatan aw duhaha. Just a bit of the afternoon or a bit of the morning. Wallahu musta'an.